Sure. Okay. Hey, folks. Take 2 on this. We're here, me, Steven, him, MTarget, to talk about our TI7 bracket predictions. They just went live a few hours ago while I was sleeping. I have to sleep sometimes, so otherwise I would have done it live then. But we're here now. We were just up a few minutes ago, but Hangouts on Air had a little bit of a freak out. So now we're doing it again here. And it's entirely Google's fault, not ours. Totally Google. Say something so that they can see you.
Everybody, how's it going?
Yeah. So we're going to give you our bracket predictions first, then move on to fantasy, because now we get to start doing reliable picks for the fantasy challenge for the main event. So I'll be going over my picks. He can chime in with whatever he has. And I'll also, tell you how I did in the interest of full honesty for my TI7 fantasy challenge for the group stages. And then
I've done 2 days, so I don't listen to my fantasy predictions because first of all, I suck at putting them up, and second of all, I don't.
Plus, he's just been doing what I tell him to anyway, so. Right? Am I right?
Kind of. Actually, that was an idea that I had because I think I've got more cards than you, is actually putting up exactly the same thing that you have, but with like golds and seeing how big of a difference they make.
Well, I've done side-by-sides with like some of the folks that I have, follow on Twitter because they put up theirs, and it's usually like between 6 and 10 points per card.
Okay.
Which basically adds up because
it adds up over the weeks, but at the same time, it also does prove that you can get a lot more points with really good picks on blues than like shitty golds.
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. But predictions.
Anyway, we should going to let you go first. Give you your bracket prediction.
All right. So I'm going about 50% gut here / heart here and 50% some rationale. Liquid IG. Liquid won their group. Liquid's looking pretty strong. I think they're going to win that. EG versus Newbie. I think that EG tend to get a whole lot stronger once they hit main stage. And Newbie looked a little rocky at times, especially against teams that could hold out longer. LFY versus TNC. LFY look great, but I think TNC look amazing. I think that the analysts' opinions that the reason that TNC are winning is because other teams are underestimating them is underestimating TNC. I think that TNC is playing, when they play their game, are dominating, and I think that TNC really know this meta and they know what they're doing. Also, on top of that, when you throw in some of the just brutality that, for example, Cuckoo can lay waste upon the map with, say, Tinker, it gets pretty nutty. A couple of their losses were games that they legitimately threw away. So, if TNC can play smart, Pinoy Dota will win, as I have on my screen. And then lastly, LGD versus VP. VP have shown that they can handle late game scenarios. Again, certainly not as well as their early game, but they can handle it. So I think that they're going to win through there. Lower bracket round 1. Again, these are best of ones here, so anything can happen. I've got Execration over Secret. Execration have something to prove here. Execration looked not awful. They're in the losers bracket, so they didn't look great. But Execration, again, really trying to go here. Secret still have some of the same flaws that they have had. A lot of 4 Protect 1, a lot of jungle reliance, a lot of rigidity in their game plan. So if Execration can see that and execute once, that's all they have to do is once, then Execration knock out Secret. C9 versus Empire. C9 did not look great. C9 have looked pretty flustered. Today, even when it's supposed to be, half media day, half practicing, Eternal Envy's been running around looking for a new keyboard. So that's not going to be good for team morale. On top of that,
Logitech.
It's not a good look Cloud9 or Logitech.
Not a good look for anybody.
Yeah. So you got to do what SteelSeries does, which is sends the players with 2 of everything, and the players are then told, like Evil Geniuses, it was in one of their things. The players are given 2 mice, 2 keyboards, 2 headsets, and they're given 1 for the practice space and 1 for the box. And the box is what their manager is supposed to take care of, and they can't, touch the box and everything is safe. So, SteelSeries knows what's up. Because let's be honest, it's easy to break a keyboard when you're running around all over Seattle. Empire also looks really good right now. Rezo is disgusting. If you have gold Chappie cards and scrapped them like I almost did, you're regretting it now. OG versus Infamous. This is the closest thing to a free win and the entire thing. Infamous looked better than we thought they did.
They did.
And OG looked worse than we thought they would. But
They did.
unless Infamous pulls something insane out here, I just don't see it happening. And then IGV versus DC. I think that Abed can put on his 10K big boy pants. And especially if IGV leave anything, risky open, expect to see DC go for something insane and play to win while IGV start to play to lose. Play not to lose, because IGV went from top of the world to losers bracket real quick. Round 2, upper bracket. I'm going to finish my upper bracket and then I'll do a losers run. Liquid versus EG. This is going to go all 3 games, and I think that 2 of those 3 games are going to be brutally long and painful. I think that there certainly could be a GG out game 1, but after that, it's just going to be a slaughterfest. Either team could win this, but I think EG will manage to pull it off on the back of some crazy Sumail universe combo. Or insert, Zai crit into either of those slots, just not both, obviously.
Yeah.
TNC versus VP. Again, TNC does some things that VP doesn't know how to handle. TNC can do jungle pressure if VP tries to go for a slower jungle strat. We've seen let's throw Lil on Enchantress, and no, don't do that. Things like that. And I think that VP, sure, they can handle late game better than we thought that they could, but I don't know. I really think the TNC just going to take it. Upper bracket finals. This is where EG always lose anyways, so that's certainly an easy pick there. In all seriousness, though, I do think that TNC, since I have them winning it all, I think that TNC are going to figure it out and go from there. Again, this is gut check. This is 100% kind of what I want to see, not what I think is actually going to happen in a lot of ways, but I do have reasons for why I think and hope it will happen. Losers bracket, IG versus Execration. I think Execration is going to lose gas, and IG will win it in the best of 3. It could go to 3 games, though. Newbie versus Empire. Again, similar concept. I think that Empire could win this, but I think that Newbie will take it. I think Newbie have cleaned up quite nicely during group stages. LFY versus OG. LFY looked good. OG looked bad. Just because LFY lost to TNC doesn't mean that they're going to lose here to OG. OG out of the tournament, losers bracket round 2. LGD versus DC. LGD definitely the weakest Chinese squad, in my opinion. DC taking them out here. Fairly straightforward. Again, best of 3. Nothing too crazy. Losers bracket round 3. IG versus Newbie. Again, I think that Newbie will pull out over IG, but I'm not totally sure. Again, I wish that I was a little bit more comfortable in my Chinese predictions. LFY versus DC. LFY, we talked about them looking good. Just because you lose to TNC doesn't mean you're going to lose to anybody else necessarily, at least at this caliber, so to speak. I think that there is a slight shift echelon change between top 4 and the rest of the group. VP Newbie. I think Newbie beats VP. Again, Newbie have a later game potential. I think it goes through there. But again, this is one of those ones that I could be wrong about. Liquid versus LFY. If Liquid can maintain composure from their loss with EG, I think they'll be a very strong opponent pushing into the top 4. Newbie versus Liquid. I've got Newbie beating Liquid here, mostly because I had predicted that there would be one Chinese team in the top 3. EG versus Newbie. Gut says EG makes it back to the finals, but again, that's where my gut check could be wrong. And then TNC versus EG in the finals. Again, gut right now says TNC wins it all. So that's what I got.
Yeah, that's bold. You can hop off a screen share. Okay. All right, it's going back to me now. Okay, so bold pick. Not necessarily as bold as it seems, because as we discussed in our last Taken Down broadcast, the every TI7 seems to have some singular team that really just blows through everybody out of nowhere. Digital Chaos last year, CDEC in 2015. If I recall correctly, Vici Gaming wasn't given that much love back in 2014. So I'm gonna do mine. I'm gonna do it live in front of you all right now. So screen share. All right, you can see it, no problem.
Yep.
All right, awesome. So yeah, definitely Liquid over IG. IG is good. Liquid, I think, is possibly the best all-around team. So I'm going to go with them over IG. EG, if Liquid isn't the best team, it's EG. So I definitely have them over Newbie. Newbie is good. I don't think that they're necessarily better than EG, though. I I'm gonna go with LFY over TNC. I know you're just hyping up TNC pretty hard. I think that LFY is good. I think they're going to cool down hard off of their really great group stages run, but I don't necessarily see them going all that far relative to how good they looked in the group stages, at least statistically. Virtus Pro over LGD. I think that's a pretty from the upper bracket. I think that's the easiest call to make. I think VP is still the best overall team, or the better overall team than LGD, and I think that they still end up in that top tier alongside the EGs and Liquids. And they looked rocky at points in the group stages, but I think that they're gonna, with a larger sample size, pull themselves together and at the very least go pretty far in TI7.
Yep.
Now we're going on to the losers bracket. I'm going to go with Secret over Execration. I know that, like you discussed, Execration is very capable of beating Secret because they do sometimes fall back on, puppy jungles and prey from there. But I think that Secret can, at the very least, beat them. I'm going to go with IG over them, though. So not expecting them to go too far, but I'm expecting them to be able to beat Execration. I'm actually going to go with Cloud9 over Empire. I thought their solid day 4 kind of got them back into what they were before TI7. They actually looked really strong in the group state, or in the qualifiers for North America. And before that, they had good performances at the Manila Masters, Zotac Cup, and the Summit. Well, they had a pretty solid Summit, but I think that's the form that they should be in, or are capable of getting wins with. Because, they looked really, truly awful in the group stages for the first 3 days. I think they're going to pull it together to some degree for the main event. Going to go with OG over Infamous. Like you said, the closest to a slam dunk in the losers bracket would be this one. OG is still one of the best teams in the world, even if they had a rocky group stages. Infamous, not so much. So going to go with them. I'm actually going to go with IG Vitality over DC. I think that IG Vitality actually has the higher ceiling, and just in general, they had a very solid group stage. That seemed like one of the teams that could fall out a little bit. LGD's performance at the Summit was actually really good. If I recall correctly, they ended up getting 3rd place behind Secret and Virtus Pro, and I think that they had a very good run in the group stages, and I don't think that was a fluke. But I think that IG Vitality could be even better than them. Their run through the qualifiers, they took 1st place in the qualifiers in China for a reason, and that's not easy to do. So I think that they're gonna, cement their place as a top end Chinese team rather than a pretty good Chinese team.
Yeah. So really quickly, they did take 3rd at Summit. They took 3rd in the International 2017 China qualifier. So LGD did squeak in there, but then they also did take 1st in the Mars Dota 2 League over LFY in a 3-2. So
so they both LGD squads have the recent success that make their group stages run not look very anomalous. Gonna stick in the losers bracket. I'm gonna go with Newbie over C9. I like C9. I think they're capable of better than what they showed in the group stages, but I don't necessarily think that they're gonna beat Newbie. That's a team that they've also historically lost to. If I remember correctly, they actually lost the Zotac Cup to them. So gonna go
I believe that's correct.
So gonna go with Newbie over Cloud9. I'm gonna just kind of unintentionally crap all over your prediction and have OG knock off TNC in the first round of the losers bracket. Or second round of the losers
because
bracket.
You've got TNC against OG there, just remember that TNC did knock OG out last year in that same slot.
That's true. They did, but
just remember.
We'll see. You are in great position for looking like a genius or looking like an idiot afterwards. That's
fine.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Gonna go with this one's tough. I'll for the sake of time, I'll probably waffle on it or never actually see it. I'll go with LGD over OG. Either way, I'm gonna go with OG over them. And then from there, I think Newbie is better than IG as a whole on most levels. I think that IG looked very strong, and I mean they got their invite to TI7 for a reason.
Yeah.
And they won DAC, so that's definitely something. But I think that Newbie is the better overall team, and I think that they're gonna, best of 3 right there, without seeing how they perform in advance. Got to go with Newbie in my mind. I'm gonna go with EG over Liquid, like you said. That is, EG tends to fall out of the upper bracket somewhere around here, but I'm gonna actually stick with them, at least this far. I'm gonna go with Virtus Pro over LFY. I think, and then from there, I'm gonna actually pick Newbie to beat LFY. Like I said, LFY looked very good. Their run through the group stages wasn't a mistake, but I think that they're going to cool off after, I think, 2 days off, and then because they don't play the first day of main event, so they're going to have 2 days to just really, slow down a bit, not look as good. So, nope, going to go Liquid over OG here. I think Liquid's really good. I mean, I think they're just.
Again, we've got Liquid at about the same spot.
Now I'm going to go with EG over VP, then Liquid, and then EG. Yeah, I'm sticking with my pick for EG to win it.
I will admit that I have waffled on who I think is going to win it. So I will admit that I picked EG to win back in predictions.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a shock to see EG kind of drop out after, get a 3rd place or 4th place finish. Not that there's anything bad with that.
Yep.
It's this quartet of teams, VP, EG, Newbie, and Liquid, is phenomenal, and they could, they could shake out any number of ways. But I predicted EG to win in the predictions over here, and I'm going to stick with it. Damn it! So that's my bracket.
Speaking of predictions, actually, we should talk about that briefly as well, because a lot of our predictions have either been confirmed or have been busted because of
let's first let's go to fantasy, because that's actually in the headline. So we're going to switch over to fantasy from here. So let me make sure that I've got it locked on myself for this. Okay, going to fantasy. So again, full disclosure in terms of how I did pretty well. As you can see, I'm actually fairly high up on my friends list. Got solid points. I had very bad cards for Group B. I didn't have almost.
Those are rough cards.
Yeah, and I went with the lean in favor of golds and lean in favor of golds over silvers and silvers over blues, and maybe that wasn't the best strategy, but I did reasonably well. But my weak Group B cards kind of screwed me over. This was my blockbuster day, because I, the night before on day 2, I said, hit the eject button on Fnatic, invest in IG Vitality. Worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I should have ejected on Evil Geniuses there, because I almost ran that Sam H card, and actually it was a slightly better one.
Yeah.
I mean, Arteezy's obviously always good. I ran Cuckoo, Paparazzi, Universe 1437, and Zai when I had a Tim's card that I was thinking about running instead of Zai, and the Sam H card instead of Universe, and I came up about 50 points shy of you, which I think I would have made up.
Yeah. But anyway, long story short, my full disclosure was I did pretty darn well, but could have done better if I had one of your fancy pants level 500 battle passes. I did about as well as I could have with a level 190 battle pass. So that's my excuse. So going over to day 1, and you're going to want to focus in on the top, like the quote unquote game A and B of the upper bracket. So what are the teams from that again? I believe it's Liquid versus...
It's Liquid versus IG and EG versus Newbie. So you want Liquid cards and EG cards or Newbie cards.
All right, so let's see what I actually have here for that. So immediately, I get to start going into silvers. Gonna stick with Matumba Man here. See, And then I've got my gold mind control. That's about as good as I can get for that. Support, I have nothing. GH and well, damn. Yeah, I do not have much to work with here.
I'm not much better of a slot actually. I turns out that I do not have anything gold for cores for EG, so I'm running a silver Sumail.
Should I go with a silver Kuroki or should I get a blue Zai?
Kuroki over Zai.
You think so?
I think if you had like a gold Zai, yeah, but when there's no modifiers, I think that the Kuroki and Zai are close enough.
All right. So this would be, I'm basically going hard on Liquid for day one. Again, you want to pick one of the upper bracket teams. Everything else is best of one. These guys are guaranteed to play at least 2 games, maybe 3. Everybody else is playing 1, and that's it. And the biggest pick, the thing you pick on is how many games they're going to play. And Liquid and EG are your better bets. I could actually go with a Burning here.
I mean, if IG are going to win it all, it's going to be off of Burning Anti-Mage. So if you've got Farm on there...
Yeah, I'll go with Burning over Matumba Man. So Artesian Burning, Mind Control, GH, Kuroki. Again, if you've got golds of everything, go very, very heavy on EG and Liquid. I would, if you have a gold Artesia card, or not Artesia, a gold Sumail card, go with gold Sumail. Yeah, play the hell out of it. Like, it's not even a second thought. If I had a gold Sumail, I would play it over either of them. But I don't. I have a blue one. So this is what I'm going with. If you have better gold cards for anything, again, EG and Liquid are your teams to play for day one. Day 2. The schedule for that. What is the lower? Do we know the lower bracket situation?
I'm not sure, but I mean, again, I think that for day 2, it makes sense to run C and D because LFY TNC and LGD VP are both going to be great series anyways.
Yeah.
And because we're not quite sure what LB round 2 is going to look like yet, because what it's going to be is it's going to be, I think, half of that. Like it makes sense in my mind just to run whoever you think is going to win. So in my case, I'm going to be running TNC and VP cards. He's going to be running VP cards anyways.
Well, not necessarily because I don't really. Again, I don't have anything for Group B really.
True.
So I'm going to be going.
I'm going to run Cuckoo and Raven because I've got some very good cards for both of them.
Now okay, so do they play? They do play the first round of lower bracket games, right?
First round lower bracket gets played day 1. Hang on, let me
second round of lower bracket.
Let me check. I believe so, yes, but we don't know what the games are going to be yet. So
it's just to plug these in for now.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that because we're so far out, like you really should be doing these tomorrow night.
Yeah, you're gonna want to, adjust this day by day. But I'll help you out for now. You can follow me on Twitter because I actually was giving a couple tips.
Yeah, he tweets out about this stuff all the time, and it's actually useful.
Yeah, I'm at Rondina, so you can follow me there. He's at MTarget Product, and he'll be at the very least retweeting, if not giving his own insights into this. And round this out. Should go with Solo or Lil. I've got Observer Wards, Camp Stacked, and First Bloods.
I go with Lil. Stacking and Obs Wards are just a little more likely.
Okay, so that would be my day 2. Here's my day 1. Once again, heavy on the EG and Liquid. I threw in an IG just because I have a gold burning card and he's capable of breaking out. So we'll see. It's also a particularly good burning card just because it has the GPM boost. Not necessarily ideal because I don't imagine him picking up all that or planting that many all Observer Wards. But here's my day 2. Going very TNC heavy, but again, I just happen to have good TNC cards. So Virtus Pro, TNC, LGDFY are your teams to go with for day 2. From there, I'll probably do, again, follow me on Twitter. I might do day-by-day broadcasts. We'll see. Let's see how the traffic does on this one. And finally, we're going to go over our predictions. And we've done generally well, I would say.
Yeah. I've got a couple spots where it's a little bit dicey, but yeah. Like so far, most banned we're both right on. Most picked, again, things have gotten a little bit weird there.
Yeah, Sand King.
Most picked is Shaker, but Sand King is only one game behind. So,
so we could see this end up working out.
Highest win rate doesn't actually work until the end of the event, just because of the way that it tries to count.
Yeah.
Same thing with highest kill average. For whatever, I know highest kill average should work, but yeah, PA. All that you need is a couple games in losers, or not in losers, a couple games just to go bad. Also, Slark just didn't get played as much as we thought that he would.
Yeah, the only game I actually watched was a Cloud9 game with them, and they won. But even then, I don't think that it was EE playing him, and I don't think he went like 2 bananas, which was kind of why we went with Slark here.
Yeah, Bounty Hunter does have the highest assist average. Again, expect to see that be the case because Bounty Hunter just steals assists.
He's also in pretty darn good position to keep that too. 18.7 over 17.4.
Yeah. So unfortunately, lowest death average. We thought that PL would be more of a pocket pick than he actually was. So yeah, that's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, an anti-mage, unsurprisingly, gets a lot of last hits.
XPM average again. That's
this could still shake out.
But there were a couple PA games where she just went bananas.
Yeah,
and Meepo's been banned a lot.
Yeah, Meepo's been banned a lot, but if we can see a few more picks with him, then this might end up shaking out okay.
Yep. Also, this most kills in a game, all you need is somebody to get 26 kills, and then most last hits in a game. Almost 2,000 last hits on an anti-mage. That's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
That
is bananas. Teams, a lot of this is still outstanding. My Cloud9 pick's not looking so great, though. Cloud9 pick's not looking so great. We could still see... Actually, no, we're probably not going to see TNC lose that, huh?
Nope. TNC are putting out some dumb numbers.
Yeah.
Fewest deaths in a game, because that was a singular game where Newbie bodied and only got 2 deaths. Yeah, that ain't changing unless EG somehow manages to pull off a miracle. Most assists in a game, again, TNC. I said Fnatic there, but again, that was off of qualifiers. We both said TNC and VP would be good options, and TNC's up there. VP's behind by a little bit, but they could catch up because it's a singular game. Team that wins the longest game, again, IG Vitality's 128-minute game. Kind of makes things a little bit hard for anybody to predict. Let's jump to tournament, actually, because that's where I think a lot of the story comes in. Total number of heroes picked, 106 so far. I thought it was 107, but I'll take 106.
Either way, this was a slam dunk pick in my mind.
Number of heroes banned, we should have gone with the 90 plus because 96 heroes banned, like, oh my god, but at the same time, okay. 91 to 100 for most total kills. Again, singular game, we aren't going to get this one back. 107, that was in that 128-minute game. We both predicted that it wasn't going to be, there wasn't going to be anything that long. We thought 99 was going to be the longest game.
Even when we were making that, I was kind of like, there's going to be like a 2-hour plus game that's going to...
Yeah, there's going to be that one game that does. And you know what?
There was. But... IG Vitality versus Empire.
Yep. But again, the math shook out such that we bet on the math there, not our guts, which is fair. Shortest game of the tournament.
Tight. This is getting pretty tight.
And VP lost the shortest game of the tournament, so...
this is 15-12. There was one yesterday.
I missed that one. Yeah, it was 15-30. That was the one with the
Virtus Pro had one that was 15 minutes 36 seconds, and now we got a 15 minutes 12 seconds one. Yeah,
team that wins the shortest game was EG, 15-12. Wow, I didn't expect that.
Yeah, this one is frustrating because we've seen so many teams. I picked 26 plus. A lot of. I was one of the few that actually picked that. Not a
I
lot of
picked 20 to 22. I will admit I was wrong here.
I fully expected these games that are very long and just complete bloodbaths. And we've seen, I think, 23, 22, 24, 25.
A lot,
We've seen a lot of it, but nobody has quite hit that 26 mark. And it's a little bit frustrating for me, and I think that things are going to get a little bit more conservative as we enter the main event. So I'm not sure that we're actually going to see that happen, which is frustrating.
Especially because some of the 4 Protect 1 comps are sliding away, because you can't rely on it as much on main stage. Most deaths by a hero, again, 15 to 17, very common response, but 20. Well, there goes our prediction.
Yep. And 36.
This is nuts. 44 assists by a single person.
I don't think it's that, like, I picked it, obviously. I don't think it was in any way really nuts because of how again, Necrophos was a character that was surging. He gets an obscene number of assists just on his Heartstopper aura. I was expecting maybe an hour and a half long game to see him get close to 40 assists. Radiance on characters like Abaddon and Spectre. Again,
we've only seen Abaddon played in one game. Remember that, though.
Yeah, and he got an assist and got a banana. He got a Radiance, gotten a crazy number of assists.
Well, yeah, I know, but again, personally, I thought the number was going to be between 36 and 40. That would have been like if I had to pick 5. That would have been my 5 slots. So hey, thanks for making 36 plus, and then highest GPM by a hero in a game. Again, most heroes are actually only pulling about 860 to about 900, but all you need is that one game where the GPM goes high, and it already has. So we got that W.
Was this what game was this? Do you know off the top of your head?
No, not off the top of my head. No, I think it was an anti-mage though.
Really? Because basically my expectation was, we're going to see an alchemist get picked and get 1200 GPM.
Nope,
and that's
the alchs have only been pulling the couple alchemist games have only been pulling around 900. Yeah, well, there was the one game where Alchemist literally was a random. So if you all don't know, in Captain's Draft or Captain's Mode, excuse me, at the end when you run out of time,
then
it auto randoms you, and it randomed an Alchemist last pick, which is why they then had this. There was a really awkward game because you're trying to play around the safe lane Alch that you were not expecting.
All right, I'm gonna close this. And anything else we want to talk about in this?
Nope.
All right, I'm gonna close this and let you all see my pretty face. All right. So that is our predictions and how it stands. Do we want to talk about the how the group stages went at all?
Sure. Let me pull them up.
Yeah, my primary note, again, I don't think either of the LGDs performing well was unexpected. A lot of people were taken aback by it. I was not, but I don't think that.
Personally, I expected LGD Gaming to be closer to 3rd, 4th than 2nd.
Yeah, and they were a solid 2nd.
First, again, I thought that Newbie was going to take 1st, maybe. But yeah, I did expect to see more than just IG Vitality and lower. I expected, like Invictus Gaming and OG to switch, or like OG to jump up and push IG down. Again, I expected to see maybe one more Chinese team in that 5th, 6th slot. Really quickly to discuss 9th in each of the groups. Again, Fnatic tried too hard to become less predictable and became so unpredictable that they beat themselves. Hellraisers, they were a tier 2 team at a tier 1 event.
Yeah, they got hot at the qualifiers, and that was kind of it.
Yep.
And reality came back basically. Which sounds mean. Obviously, they're an objectively above average team, but the results kind of speak for themselves a little bit. I think Cloud9, Jesus Christ, they looked so bad the first 3 days.
They did.
It was true. Like, I can't blame them entirely because they had such a rough start. They played the top 5
4 teams.
The top 5. That was their first series, basically. Their first 5 series were against top 5 teams, but they were also a team that was good enough that they should have been able to take more than one win. You know what I mean? They should have been able to take more than one win in 10 games. They were again, very strong in the qualifiers, very strong in some of the smaller lands that happened before the qualifiers. They're better than this, but man, they looked awful. And even in victory, they looked really bad. Team Secret on the other side was a team that had a very humble 7-9 record, but man, they showed that they are very difficult to put away.
Ending against Team Secret definitely is the key. But again, they lost to Infamous.
they lost to Infamous, Empire, IG Vitality. I mean, those are the
they lost to the teams below them,
yeah,
which shouldn't be the case. Like, I mean, traditionally speaking, when you see a group results, you expect to see, team in first place lose to nobody, or maybe the team behind them, and you go down the list from there, where you lose to the people ahead of you and you beat the people below you.
Yeah.
Again, traditionally, obviously that's not the case, but it's what you expect to see.
I'm expecting once again LGD Gaming and LGD Forever Young, especially LGD Forever Young, just because they did look so good in the group stages at points. I think that they're going to cool off in a big way. 2 days off isn't going to help them, so we'll see. But I'm expecting them again not go as far as the group stages would have suggested. And OG, was it just me, or did they kind of like get the most attention out of any team from the quote unquote mainstream media from this?
From the mainstream media, or like the mainstream?
The quote unquote mainstream media, the higher end suspects, the ESPNs.
I think that they got some attention, but they also deserved it. They're the team that's won a bunch of majors, and what's coming from there, and that's, I mean, they went 9-7. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that result. God, it was hard to watch, quite frankly.
I mean, 9-7 isn't bad.
It's not bad, but when we were expecting them to come out top 2 in their group, maybe top 3, like I don't know anybody that expected to see OG go straight into losers.
Yeah. No, I did not. Yeah. I could have seen them
split a lot. Now, again, that's the thing is that we've been seeing a lot of, you do a group stage, okay, whatever, and then you go into a single elimination bracket, and if you keep going 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, too bad, congratulations, you still won everything. But when you only 2-0, OG only 2-0'd Cloud9 and Hellraisers. Everybody else they went 1-1 with, except for VP, who they went 0-2 with.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, they did the last time they played them too, but they just ran it back 3-0. So,
yep. And that's
the thing is that going 1-1, what happens in game 3? In game 3 versus Digital Chaos, do they win? In game 3 versus Execration, do they win? In game 3 versus IG Vitality, do they win? Or excuse me, Invictus Gaming.
I mean, the lower bracket is so effing treacherous this year.
Oh, I love it.
And I mean, it's going to be really entertaining as a fan. But man, I mean, if you see LGD send home in that 10th to 12th place, I think is it 8th to 12th, 9th to 12th, whatever it is. If you see them get sent home in the lower half of the standings, which is very possible just because of how many good teams they will end up playing there, I mean that would just be kind of sad.
Sad, but also realistic. Like it's
very
possible.
Realistic, and it's not necessarily something that they should be ashamed of. It's just, man, the lower bracket is just going to be just brutal. They play against. They're going to play against Infamous, which again is the closest you can get to a slam dunk, and then from there they play if they win that, which again, best of 1. That's not even a guarantee, but if they do win that game, then they get to play the loser of LGD Forever Young versus TNC, and both of those teams look exceptional.
Yeah. So really quickly, just because we're talking about it, current prize pool total as of when the Wikipedia article was updated. So let me check the actual.
23.865.
Okay, so it's off by a digit. 23.863 on this one. First place, $10.4 million. Probably going to be 10.5 by the time we're all said and done. Second place, 3.8. Third, 2.5. Fourth, 1.6. Fourth place right now takes home more money than most other entire championship prize pools.
Yeah.
Fifth and sixth place each get $1 million per team.
Yep, that's bananas.
Seventh and eighth, $594,000, probably about $600,000 by the time it's all done. Ninth through 12th get $400,000. That's still more money than an entire minor prize pool. 13th through 16th get $118,000, and then 17th and 18th, rest in peace, Fnatic and Hellraisers. Enjoy your boxes up at Key Arena. Each of those teams still took home $60,000, which is $10,000 per player, with $10,000 left over for the coach or the org.
Yeah.
Which, okay, that's not great. But at the same time,
that's more than I'm probably going to make in a year.
On top of that, $100,000 extra is going to be awarded to the winning team of the All-Star match.
Right.
So that means that if Sumail wins All-Stars and the tournament, your boy's going home with another $20,000 on top of his disgustingly large paycheck from Evil Geniuses.
So, anything else we want to talk about? Yeah, we hit the fantasy, we hit the brackets, we hit pretty much everything we wanted.
Yeah, I think we pretty much hit everything. I mean, we could talk about like the way that it's been presented, but that's kind of nitpicky, and we should really just do that after the entire event, really. So
yeah, I think that's more of an afterthoughts kind of topic. We got 12 viewers though, so thank you all for actually watching.
So I unfortunately have to start a real job on Monday, so I can't, I don't get to dance around and watch streams and make it work. So that means that I'm going to be missing most of the events. I'll be keeping up on the Track Dota app as best I can. Shout outs to Dota Buff. No, we're not sponsored by them. I just love them.
I mean, you kind of them and Liquipedia are too valuable a resource for pretty much anybody to. It's like if you were a movie writer and you look at IMDb a lot. Like it's not a matter of it's not a matter of sponsorship. It's a matter of it's a valuable tool that you're kind of forced to use no matter what.
Yeah, and they're worth using too. So again, dotabuff.com.
They're great sites on top of that. I don't want to make it sound like I'm getting my arm twisted. Great sites.
Yeah,
good job,
I got you. Yeah. So, but yeah, I'll be watching Track Dota on my phone as best I can, and then at night I'll catch what matches I can, because luckily I'm East Coast, so there'll be a few games in the evening.
Yeah.
But I have cleared my Saturday. My entire Saturday will be watching losers finals and grand finals.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. But I will be at home writing about either Dota 2 or Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather. It's where my rent comes from. So I'm going to be home. And again, if you want to ask any questions about brackets, predictions, fantasy, etc., at Rondina, at MTarget product. And yeah, have a great day. Have a great week. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, because we're looking out for you. So everyone have a great day.